I'm Jenny Robertson, founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine and founder of the On Purpose Woman global community. I'm here with LinkedIn coach Cheri Martin for a Writer in the Spotlight interview where I talk with the contributing writers in the current issue of On Purpose Woman magazine. Welcome, Cheri. Thanks for being with me today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, Jenny. I'm happy to be here. And it's always my pleasure to have a chat with you.
You always love to talk about LinkedIn, don't you?
I do. I used to say, I love LinkedIn and you should too, but I've switched that around. I say, I love LinkedIn and I know you can too.
I like that. I like that. Well, before we get started about your article, tell our viewers a little bit about you.
Well, I've been doing this online marketing thing now in the marketing arena for over 25 years. Started back in '98 with my husband with our very first company. We had a web design agency, and that evolved into a full marketing agency, IT company. And then when things shifted in 2007 and 8, because 95% of our clientele were in the real estate industry, we had to make a shift. We closed that company down and decided to get into the social media aspect of it. And I had already jumped in teaching LinkedIn actually in 2008. It was the very first platform that I got on in 2007. And a lot of my clients were curious about it. So I was going in and helping them set their platforms back then. And then Facebook came about. Actually, I think I got on Twitter before I did Facebook. But yeah, and then Facebook came about. And for a lot of years, over 10 years, I managed other people's social media, taught LinkedIn, Facebook. I did a little bit of Instagram and Twitter and all that fun stuff. But I really enjoy LinkedIn so much. So that's where I've made my shift when my husband and I closed our other company down completely a year ago. In April of 2022 was the last officially that company was closed, and I started my own solopreneurship, which is the social visionary, and decided to really focus on what I love to do best, and that's teaching. And LinkedIn is that platform that I just see is the platform that so many businesses are almost afraid to get on because they don't understand it. They're so used to Facebook. And then they get on LinkedIn and they're a little confused. So I just like to show them that I say there's a different tonality on LinkedIn than there is Facebook. And it's so much more enjoyable to be on LinkedIn because to me, it's like an online, a virtual chamber of commerce that's open 24/7.
Mm-hmm. It's less social, if you will, but more, what's the word I'm looking for? I think you have a better chance of reaching the people you want to reach because it is less social. Because you have to wade through all the other stuff first, to get to that. At least that's how I see it. Yeah.
It's still that social aspect because you're socializing with people and you're building those relationships with them. However, people have more of an intention and a purpose on LinkedIn. And the way, and as all platforms do, it has evolved over the last few years. Microsoft purchased LinkedIn, I think it was around 2017, 2018. And so that's when we started noticing a lot of different changes in there. And I wasn't real keen on some of them. However, over the last few years, I have really been impressed with how LinkedIn has evolved. There's a lot of mentors on there that I follow, individuals that are really hung up on the algorithms. And I really do teach simple with my clients and in my group coaching and my workshops and such. To me, don't get hung up on that algorithm. Just be yourself and reach out to individuals that you'd like to have some conversations with and be you. And that's how what works for you on LinkedIn. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't work on other social platforms, but you can get lost in the clutter on any of these. But within LinkedIn, you are pretty much in control by the way you work the platform, so to speak, with who you connect with, and the type of content that you share, as well as the direction you want to go. And the way you position yourself. The way you position yourself is really going to determine how successful you're going to be on the platform.
Well, you feel so strongly about this that you wanted to write a series of 3 articles for the magazine. The first one came out in this current issue, September, October. The series is called Building a Strong Foundation on LinkedIn for Your Holistic Business. And then the first article is called Harnessing the Power of LinkedIn for Spiritual Entrepreneurs. But why did you think it was important to write these articles specifically for entrepreneurs with more holistic businesses?
Oh, okay, and not to correct you in front of everybody, but the series is Harnessing the Power of LinkedIn for
Oh,
Spiritual
I got that
Entrepreneurs.
backwards, didn't I?
Yeah, that's okay. I just want to clarify that. The reason being is that all 3 of the articles are going to be focusing on how to really harness the power of LinkedIn. And I wrote it specifically for spiritual entrepreneurs because one is we all are spiritual in our own way. And when you're spiritual, you are aligned with what your values are and who you really want to connect with and have relationships with. So even if you're not into the holistic business, or if you are a salesperson, we don't want to sell to everybody and anybody and everybody. We want to sell to those that are aligned with us so that we have some good relationships and more successful sales, right? So the very first article, again, is that building that strong foundation, because without having a strong foundation on LinkedIn, the rest of it doesn't matter. Because I kind of mentioned that you want to position yourself on LinkedIn as that expert that understands her clients, that knows what their pain points are. And so when you're speaking in whatever you say, when you're putting your profile together, and I say optimizing it, but I like to say more enhancing it so that it lifts you and elevates you for the individuals that are reading it to really understand who you are and know that you understand them. And so they can relate more with the type of solutions that you provide. And the reason I wrote the series is because of the 3 parts, building that strong foundation. And then the next one, which comes out this, in November, right? We're almost there.
Yeah.
November is really on how to really create that engaging content with the value of the type of content that you are putting out there. And then the final one is really nurturing your connections, making sure that you are connecting intentionally and then nurture them. Each of those specific areas need to be addressed in a certain way so that you are successful, so that it all gels together.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be posting on that platform consistently, but if you are not positioned when people go look at your profile or have any type of a guidance for them to know what that next step is, and you're not willing and open to actually connecting with them and learning more about them, none of it is going to work. So they all work together, but there's so much information for each. I just thought breaking it down into a 3-part series would be easily digested, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also what makes you an excellent teacher, is because you do teach what can seem to be very complicated issues or just overwhelming opportunities, right? You do break it down very beautifully. I'll tell everybody here, I'm in Cheri's program, and one of Cheri's programs, and have learned a lot. I haven't utilized as much of it as I keep talking about wanting to do. That's one of the things I'm working on when I've got all that time off I told you about in December and January, Cheri. But, in this article, you share 5 ways that you think holistic business owners can enhance their presence. And I'm going to just read each one, and then would love for you to just say a few words about that. And then they can read the article. We want them to go read the article to get all the other good information that you put in there. But the first one is define your unique brand identity and value proposition. For people who don't know, some people are, just jumped into their business. They may not even know about brand marketing or brand identity and value propositions. Say what that is.
Well, you want to have something that really defines you, that differentiates you from others. We all have competitors out there. We all do things similar that others do. However, if there's that one unique thing that is that you can bring to the table. For example, I do teach, there's a lot of LinkedIn teachers and coaches out there, but what I have taken from feedback I've received, and like from you just said, I really make it simple. There's a lot of great online tools and a lot of things that we can tap into, but it can get very overwhelming. And when you get overwhelmed, especially if you're new to a platform or new in business, I don't know about you, but I know myself, I get stuck and
Shut
splattered.
down.
I don't do a thing. I just like, okay, I'm done, enough. And so I want to make sure that they get excited. And so that's kind of my unique differentiation, how I differ myself from other teachers. And I honor and follow a lot of great mentors and teachers on LinkedIn. However, I want my audience to realize that I'm there to serve them and find what's going to work for them. So that's how, when you're defining your brand and, in your offerings, what is it about what you offer that makes it more essential? In fact, I heard something today from my coach, and she's a member of OPW, Vicki Ibach, is you have to ask yourself, why is it essential for you to purchase to invest in my product or to invest in me? What's essential about it? And I thought to myself, that to me is a unique differentiator. If you can determine that and define that for yourself, it's going to show on as you position yourself on LinkedIn, as well as when you start creating content and when you start connecting with others and having conversations with them.
I wrote that down. I like that a lot. Why is it essential? That also, I think, helps us to really believe in it more ourselves, because then we see on a deeper level what it is that we're offering and why it's essential, right?
Exactly. I mean, she brought up the thing, whoever thought we'd pay for bottled water? What is essential for, why is it essential for us to purchase a bottle of water? I mean, think of that. I mean, all I drink is bottled water, and I just paid $75 for a new water filter from my refrigerator. I could have that water, but I still drink out of the bottle. I mean, it's this funny. I know when you think about that. So that to me really signifies, when you can determine that, that's going to help you define your unique and valuable proposition, or why you. I think that's what you have to ask. Why me?
Why me and not them, or why me and not her? Yeah, I like that a lot. The second way that you say we can enhance our presence on LinkedIn is to optimize our LinkedIn profile. You started talking about that a little bit. What's a couple of ways that we might optimize our profile?
Well, when
or
you
one major way, maybe. Yeah.
Well, there's different sections on your profile. I call it the introduction section, which is the top area. And then you have your about your experience and your education. And then there's all these other little different items you can actually put on and add to your profile. And of course, there's other features that you can also add. So when you're optimizing it, the term optimize in the online arena is, how can what you're putting out there resonate with the algorithms or the search engines? And so I like to call it enhancing. How can you enhance your profile so that it shows up when someone is searching for something that they have a certain challenge or pain point, and making sure that you're mentioning that within your profile, that is something that you work with those type of individuals that have these challenges or these pain points, and these are some of the solutions that you offer. So you want to make sure that when they come to your LinkedIn profile and they're reading it, they identify that you are the person that they want to have a conversation with. And again, we want to make it about them. And I say, write for your audience, not for you, because we want to share our credibility. We also want which is the social proof that we definitely are experienced, and we definitely have helped others with results. So we have to tell a little bit about ourselves for sure, so that they're familiar. But we really want them, when they come and read the profile, they identify right away, what I need to talk to this person. They get me. Okay. They know me.
They're my people.
She's my people. They're my people. And that's what when you're really optimizing your LinkedIn profile. And of course, there's always the little things, the nuances, like having specific tags and their keywords, because that's going to be picked up in a search engine. And I always say to my clients when I'm working with them, what do we have to not think what we feel, but what would a person, and this is when you have to ask your clients, what would they look for if they were going online to search to find a solution for their challenge so that you show up in front of them? Not what we think they're going to put in there, but what word would they put in? What phrase would they put in? And we have to think like them.
Yeah.
And that's how we optimize our profile, is to make sure that it is resonating with the audience we want to attract.
Okay. Number 3, and these articles are specifically for holistic businesses, spiritual entrepreneurs. So you say that we can showcase our spiritual journey and expertise. Now, I remember when I got on LinkedIn many years ago, and you've heard me say this, it seemed like it wasn't really a good fit for entrepreneurs. It was mostly people searching for jobs. It was very buttoned down, very professional. But you're saying that we can showcase our spiritual journey as part of our expertise. So say more about that.
Yep, we do. In fact, I'm going to be doing a presentation on this at Captain Yarborough's Love Your Business Summit. Be unapologetically you. Authentic is a word we think about a lot. We have to be authentic and be ourselves, but be unapologetically you. In other words, we don't want to attract everybody and anybody. We want to make sure that we are registering to those that want to connect with us. You want to connect intentionally. So I've worked with a lot of ladies and a few men in the spiritual arena. And, I do woo-woo. Is this really the platform for me? And I'm like, my first question is, who are your clients? What are their professions? What are some of the challenges they've had? Okay. Are they, and I'm just kind of giving, if it's a professional woman, what does she do? And if she's out there networking, and they're networking for other things, they're going to resonate and find those individuals within the spiritual realm that is going to be able to help them accomplish more of their goals in their business. So we have to realize that in that spiritual arena, what we offer is definitely needed in the professional market, the entrepreneurs, and even with professional salespeople, because they get stuck. And they may need some hypnosis. They may need something to get them past that filter, that's keeping them from moving forward and being successful. Maybe it's just learning how to do Ho'oponopono. And also within our arena, if we are speakers and we want to be on podcasts, oh my goodness, LinkedIn is the best platform to put information on there and showcase and make that your, one of your experiences. If you're an experienced speaker, or if you have your own podcast, put that as part of your experience on the platform, because again, that's going to be picked up by the search engines, by the algorithms. And that's the type of content that you're going to be creating as well. So it doesn't matter what business you're in. It used to, Josh, I think when LinkedIn first started, it was more for the people looking for jobs. And so, those individuals that work for, the companies that, worked with other companies that help them find salespeople or help them find employees, and, all of those things there. And so now that's just a piece of it.
Yeah.
We as business professionals now need to make sure that we are honoring ourselves unapologetically, so that we are connecting with the audience that we know we can serve.
Thank you for that. The next one, enhance your discoverability. How do we
And
do
that goes to those those keywords. And there are on the platform themselves, on the profile, there is a section where you can add skills. And I'm learning a lot more about skills, because the way they first started on the platform, individuals could actually suggest a skill for you and it would land on your platform, and then people start doing that, right? And now you can add up to 50. You don't have to add that many. However, one of the newer things that LinkedIn is now allowing you to do is actually on your about section, which used to be called the summary, they're inviting you and encouraging you to add up to 5 of your top skill sets.
Mm.
And you don't have to choose what they recommend. You can choose choose your own. And it can be a single word, it can be a phrase or two words together, whatever. But then you have those right up at the very top of your profile. And also those are then, if again, in a search, if somebody's looking and that word pops up in a search, then you have a better chance of popping up in front of them to come and invite them to come look at your profile. And we have to remember that LinkedIn is a search engine. It's just like Google or Bing, and people on that platform will use it as such. And so that's when you have to know what you don't want to, you have to be careful. Don't spam your profile with those, but also make sure that when you are looking at your skills, especially if you're doing an update on your profile, release those that no longer serve you, because it's going to confuse the viewer as well as the searches. I had to do that. I don't do Facebook training any longer. I don't do, social media management any longer. And those are my top skills with 99 plus. And we want to get to that 99 plus because then we have a greater opportunity to be looked at a higher reach, just as in a search engine, that the more our skills have been endorsed. So we do want to also encourage our readers and our connections to come and endorse us for specific skills so that we can keep raising that. That's how you can be discovered more.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The last one, and I think this is the one we could do. Somebody could do all those first four really well. And this happens when we speak out there. It happens when we're having conversations, that we need to establish a clear call to action. Otherwise, they're just going to move on. Right.
Now we've got to give them that gentle nudge, as I call it, because if we don't give them a reason to connect with us and then guide them in how they can connect with us, they're going to move on, definitely. And it kind of goes back when as I was growing all my businesses, and over the years, I was a member of different chambers of commerces and different associations. We met in person. And if you didn't have a business card, or if you didn't have a rat card or flyer or something when you're promoting, then they wouldn't know what to do or how to really connect with you. Well, on the virtual arena here, we have to be able to provide them some direction. And they're going to appreciate that. Now, be mindful not to go have them buy a big, $5,000-$10,000 coaching package. You want to take them in gently, give them something free. Maybe you offer an opt-in where they can go and opt in. Now you've gathered their email, so now you can continue being in front of them. Or it might just be a simple one-on-one 15-minute get to know each other. But we have to be very careful. I always say practice the art of unselling. Don't push them into a conversation to try to sell them right away. This is where the relationship marketing comes in, the getting to know them, letting them get to know you, because then you're going to build that know, like, and trust factor. So yeah, call to action, especially on your profile. And now, depending on what features you set up on your profile, you can also have on the very top introduction area, a link that will take them off to actually go download something, or to go check out an event that you're having, or to go set up a one-on-one with you on your calendar or something along that line. All of those little things peppered throughout your profile will help them know that you're making it easy for them to get to have a conversation with you. And that's how you have to really play it out with them on that. You're there to serve them, and and to support them.
This is such good information. And I'm sitting here thinking about how deficient my profile still is. It's a lot better than it was, but it's still quite deficient. I'm not taking advantage
It's a work in progress.
everything. It is a
is.
work in progress. Yeah.
And I recommend,
Go ahead.
one of my recommendations is for an individual is don't get overwhelmed with it and sit there and think you have to all do it at once. Book an appointment 1 hour at a time, maybe once a week to get started. And just say, I'm going to work for 1 hour on this area on my LinkedIn profile. And I recommend to do your introduction and then your about section. Those are the first two, and then get into your experience and any education, then adding other features. Yeah.
Well, Cheri, tell our viewers how they can find out more about your work and the classes that you offer where you help people do exactly what we're talking about.
Well, they can always find me on my website at socialvisionary.com. And on that, I'm in the process of updating it from my other business, but I do have a workshop page where I've got to promoting my upcoming workshop, which is in November 29th on LinkedIn content strategies. So that will be a fun one. It's a 4-hour one-day program, but it'll be fun. That's right on my socialvisionary.com, as well as I definitely invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn. Just go to LinkedIn and look Cheri Martin. That's the Cheri. And on Facebook, I have a LinkedIn group. It is Level Up Your LinkedIn to Stand Out. And you can connect with me. That's a free group. It's just a great place I post some tips and a little bit of, information about LinkedIn whenever that I feel would support each of you, and has a chance to do a little networking there as well. But those are the 3 best places to connect with me and to find out what's going on.
And I want to tell our viewers that all that information, all of Cheri's links are in the text of this video, as well as the link to On Purpose Woman magazine, where you can read Cheri's current article, and her new article, the second in the series of 3, will be available next Wednesday. Well, before we wrap up, Cheri, just what do you want to leave our viewers with? Your final thought, like right now, the most wise and important thing you can think to say to them.
Well, I think
No pressure.
to kind of recap what I shared about the profile, I always say there's 3 C's to success, and that is you want to make sure that it is client focused, and you want to make sure that you showcase that social proof, which is credibility, and then you want to have a good, strong call to action. Those 3 C's are the most important and essential things you want to make sure are right there on your LinkedIn profile. You'll have a greater, I should say, opportunity to connect with the audience that that will align with you.
Great, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of what I still need to do. And thank you big time for sharing your wisdom and your expertise in the magazine, but also here with us today. I really appreciate you and what you do. You do it like nobody else I know out there. So thanks for being here with us. And I want to thank anyone who's watching this live on the replay or on our YouTube channel. Again, to read Cheri's article, as well as other inspiration for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your business, visit my website, opwgc.com. And that website is also in the link of this text. Thanks for watching, everyone.